So hi and welcome. We're here to talk around about Azure, and I've got Dan and John here from TBS. And I guess first of all, it'd be good to just introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about TBS.
Okay, I'm John Poynton, Commercial Director at TBS.
I'm Dan Sadler, the TBS IT Manager.
Right, and TBS stands for what?
Technological Business Solutions.
Right.
We provide enterprise mobility solutions for larger SMEs and enterprise customers in facilities management, utilities, fleet and automotive, and also local government type organisations.
So how do you deliver this technology to your customers?
Well, we've been going for a few years, and historically we used to provide on-premise solutions, so the software would be hosted on the customer's own site. But over the last couple of years we've been provided a hosted managed service, which has proved very popular, and probably about 80% of our new solutions are provided on a hosted basis.
Right, 80%, that's interesting. And what's driving that change? Obviously there's the technology is enabler, hosting is more realistic. What's affecting that decision? Because obviously there's a lot of blockers out there for people adopting hosted solutions. You know, the data's not on-premise, it's not my it's not on my tin, as it were. So, yeah. What's driving these changes?
Well, I mean, to be fair, hosted doesn't suit everybody, and you know, there's still a requirement with some customers to keep their data on premise, as you said. But I think it's ultimately flexibility is the thing that's providing the hosted solution as being favourable. One is the speed at which we can deliver a solution. We can very quickly set up a new system. We can provide pilot systems very quickly as well, so that enables a customer to try the software, get used to it, and when they're happy, basically just scale it up very simply. It takes away a huge procurement exercise for them as well. So from a number of areas, there's a great demand and benefit from having something available.
So obviously, from the business user's perspective, it's all the things you've been talking about. It's an OpEx cost. It's ease of deployment, I guess. That must bring a great technology, design challenge. There must be issues. I mean, now you've got to host this stuff yourself and make sure it scales. I mean, is that, from a technical point of view, what's hosting been like for you?
Obviously, hosting takes us away from what our core business is really, which is software. And what it means is that we have to have an environment that's highly available, that's scalable, but there's a lot of capacity planning work that needs to go in now, which we never had to think about before. We get a number of customers to come along who start out with us, wanted to come on the system with 200 users for a few months and end up a year later being there with 500-600 users and won't stop on there. That makes it difficult to plan, certainly. So there's a lot of procrastination almost about when we do put in additional hardware upgrades into the system, just to make sure we have the capacity when we need it, because the minute those servers go into the hosted environment, we pay for the upfront cost of those servers, we pay the ongoing cost of the power, the light, the air conditioning, all those elements that obviously cost a lot of money, and you're typically getting fairly low usage on them until the capacity is in use, so you're not really getting the return on investment back until you've got a sort of percentage of occupancy using those servers.
But I guess you've also got a large number of on-premise users. You say sort of 80% are considering hosted. It seemed to me what you just said, there was a short-term desire to go hosted with a view of longer-term being on-premise, but they never kind of finally achieved that. Maybe they've overcome the fears of being hosted in the first place.
Yeah.
But there's still 20% that are on-premise. Now, that must affect you in terms of the architecture and design there, that you're dealing with capacity planning and the issues of multi-hosting on one environment, but then you're also having a dedicated solution on-premise. How does that affect your architecture, your design and solution at this point in time? Have you got two types of solution there at the moment, or is it one? Are you dedicated hosting it, or are you multi-hosting?
So we have a multi-tenanted hosted setup currently. We did quite a lot of work on the application so that we could run multiple different customers off the same servers with just configuration to be able to split them apart. So it is all the same product. It's got the functionality built in to be able to deal with it now, and the on-premise customers benefit from some of the work that we've done for the hosted customers, because obviously we're all the more keen to work on optimization and performance to make this thing perform as well as it possibly can on the hardware it's on, and obviously all those updates roll through to our on-premise customers as well, and they see the benefit of that.
But as you said, you're not in the game of hosting.
Exactly.
So I guess this naturally leads us to the kind of world of cloud computing and the potential that supposedly gives us all. How seriously are you looking at cloud, and how long have you been thinking about cloud computing? I mean, it's relatively new reality. It's very new. There's few providers out there. I guess as your figures in that equation, and I guess it'd be good to sort of understand your decision-making process through that.
Okay, so we've been looking at ways we can increase capacity in a more almost a less lumpy cost model, because as it happens today, if I want to put in more servers, as I say, it's upfront cost for those servers, it's the ongoing hosting and everything else, and everything is full cost from the minute they go in. From John's perspective, trying to keep the financials right, that obviously doesn't always make sense, and I upset him on a regular basis. So we've been looking at a model that lets us effectively pay for what we use, and we started talking to Microsoft probably mid last year now about Azure and find out a bit more about it, because it sounded like it did a lot of the things we wanted. We've been involved, as I say, for a while now and having these conversations, and what we found is that as the months have gone on, more and more has come to light, more technologies become available, some of the work around SQL data services, for example, which actually makes the migration much easier for us and far more appealing. The bit we like is that it takes away the whole capacity planning headache. I mean, our customers have offloaded it to us, and ultimately what we want to do is offload that to somebody else, which is where Azure is really great. The ability to be able to say, okay, well, today I want to run 5 instances of this application across 5 virtual machines, and tomorrow I want 10. Well, great, because all I do is flick a switch, change some configurations, and away I go. That means we can respond to our customers as quickly as we need to, and it keeps our costs down when we're not using the technology, so it's a win-win situation. I mean,
Azure is clearly not an infrastructure-based service. It's not virtual machines. It's a whole sort of platform. You've indicated that SQL data services or those kind of capabilities are easing some of the transition, but there must be another need to reevaluate your architectural patterns, the technical solution, and there's a cost implication, I guess, and time and effort to do that. How are you approaching that? Is it something you can do in phases? Or?
It is, yeah. Again, we've been looking at almost a start point for this development. We've not started it yet, but we're literally just about to. And we've identified that there's elements of the application that we can migrate now and get benefit from, and migrate to use some of the newer technologies that weren't available for us when we first developed these things. So around the communications, there's things like the Sync framework now, and those pieces which are Microsoft implementations of things that years gone by we had to do ourselves, and they deliver a lot of the functionality we need, and we mean that we don't need to go on supporting those applications. So there's benefits in doing so, and by taking some of those and effectively getting as a start point with Azure and with those sorts of technologies, we can then do it effectively piece by piece until we've got everything ready to be sort of deployed to the cloud.
And back to the sort of financial point that was raised earlier on, I guess. For you, it gives you a smoother sort of run rate, or you're not getting these surprises where suddenly we need to jump to the next.
That's right. The lumpiness of having to do our own hardware procurement for our own hosted environment, it can be a challenge, and ensuring that the service levels are there and tight SLAs. It's all very, very important commercial aspects.
It's got to be key.
And at the end of the day, people need to be confident that they're going to get the service that you're going to you have on offer, and that it's going to be at a very competitive price.
Brilliant. And I guess we could carry on talking, and we probably will. I think it's a really interesting insight, because you're at the start of a journey, or it's a continuing journey for you. But considering as it sort of evolves itself, it's going to be an interesting time. So thanks again for taking time to have a chat with us, and we'll follow up soon.